Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. We are going to take off my last gel manicure and we are going to do some new colors today. So I wanted to take you along the journey of how I remove the gel polish and how I start in on my new one. So without further ado, we are starting by breaking the seal on that top coat from the last time I did my gel manicure. So you can use a file, you can use a buffer, but you want to break off that top coat and basically allow our gel remover to work. That's the gel remover from Nail Kandy. I use the Head Candy Nail Candy line, and you're going to just put a coat of that all over each nail. This process is going to take a little bit of time. Another way that you can remove the gel polish is with acetone, and there's instructions on how to do that all over the internet. But I like to use the gel polish because honestly I hate the smell of acetone and I just prefer to do it this way. It usually takes anywhere from 3 to 4 times going through, like 3 to 4 coats. You do want to let it sit for like 3 minutes or so before you go in and start using this little tool to kind of scrape it off. You need to be gentle when you're using this scraper tool also. I'll link everything that I found. A lot of the items are from Head Candy, but some of the items I actually got off of Amazon. So I'll link all of those things in the description of this video. But you want to start pushing it off once that gel remover kind of gets underneath the polish. It's going to actually like separate from your nail, okay? But when you're pushing it, you need to be gentle. You're not pushing into your nail bed. If you do this correctly, you really shouldn't do anything to your nail bed, okay? And that's where a lot of people do make the mistake of pushing too hard onto your nail bed, and you can damage your nail bed. You absolutely can if you're not careful. So just be gentle. If it's not pushing, if the nail polish is not scraping off gently, then what you need to do is let the gel remover sit on your nail a little bit longer before you start this process. So I'm going through coat by coat. Usually when you use glitter, that takes a little bit more of a coat. So a couple of my nails don't have glitter on them, a couple of them do, so that's why it's taking a little bit longer. When you start getting to the point where you're at the end of the nail, you can push it off in the same direction or you can go side to side. Really, you kind of got to figure out what works best for you. Again, I am pushing ever so gently on top of my nail bed, and some of this will just like slough right off, especially if you let the gel remover work. This one is giving me a little bit more hassle on my thumb because I had a lot of glitter on that one. So I had to do a few more coats with that one, but as you can see, the remover works. You just have to give it some time to actually do its job. So those 2 nails are pretty good. I just gently go over top of the nail even after it looks like the polish is all off, and I just gently scrape off any of that product that I used to adhere the polish to my nail. So I'm gently doing all of that and finishing up with rest of removing the polish. I also make sure to go around the entire nail bed and scrape off anything that may be on the edges. When you do gel polish or any type of polish, you want to make sure you don't get on your cuticle. So I'm just making sure that I remove anything that may have gotten too close to my cuticle. After I finish scraping the surface of my nail to make sure there isn't any product on there, I go through and buff my nail. I buff the outside of my nail, like the edges. I buff the top of the nail bed, and again, I'm not damaging the nail bed. I am just making sure that everything is off of my nail because that will stop my new manicure from adhering to my nail if I don't. So I just use this buffer. I will link all of the products below. And then I use a file to shape my nail. These are pretty well shaped overall from my last manicure, but I just kind of straighten it up a little bit. And then after I file, it's extremely important to go and wash your hands. So I like to use like a Dawn dish soap. Make sure you get any oil off of your nail beds and make sure that they are completely dry before doing anything else. So once I do that process, I actually use a product that has alcohol in it to dry out my nail beds. After I wash my hands, again, you want to make sure your nails and your hands are completely dry. I'm going to use this Prep Bond product from Kandy. It's actually in their dip powder kit, but I like to use it just for drying out my nail bed. You can use alcohol swabs or just rubbing isopropyl alcohol and just put it on top of your nails, but that is what I am doing right now. After it's completely dry, then I'm going to actually start the process of my manicure. So I'm going to start off with the base coat, and in between each step, you want to make sure that you cure with a light, which I'm going to show you what I use, and you need to use thin coats, guys, thin coats, and do not get on your cuticle. So my process after I prep my nail beds is the base coat, and then I cure under the light for 60 seconds. And then I'm gonna go in with my gel polish, and then I'm gonna cure under the light for 60 seconds after each coat, and then I end with the top coat. I'm saying this a lot, but guys, thin coats, do not touch your cuticle. Do not let any of the polish get on any part of your skin. You actually want to leave a little bit of a space between your nail and the skin on your nail. And you also want to push your cuticle back. No, I didn't mention that at the beginning of the video, but I showed it. Make sure your cuticle is not on your nail so that you can make sure just the polish is adhering, because what will happen once you're done polishing and once you cure everything, if you have any of it on your skin, that is going to cause the polish to lift, to peel, and it can even cause it to chip. So make sure that you don't get any on your skin whatsoever. And as long as you don't cure it under the light, you can still fix it even if you do get some on your skin. And I gave some of those tips earlier in the video, but you can use your other finger to clean it up. You can use a lint-free wipe, you can use a toothpick, and those little dental flossers that have a little pick on the end, you can use those too. They all work well. But thin coats, after you finish with your first coat of all of your polishes, you're going to throw that underneath the light and cure it for 60 seconds. If you look at the lighter colors, it almost looks like it can be a little streaky until it gets dark enough. So I just make sure I use the littlest bit when I do the color, and I just make sure I spread it out so that it doesn't look streaky. But the more coats you do, the less thin it looks. And then now I'm putting on the glitter. So the glitter can be a little tricky with gel polish. I want to make sure I get the whole nail coated with the polish just so it has the same amount of coats. But then once I do that, I will even use, sometimes I'll use like a toothpick or something to grab the bigger pieces of the glitter, and I will place them on my nail exactly where I want them. And sometimes that makes it a little bit easier. But as you can see with the glitter on my nails, I wanted it to be more on the top of my nail, kind of like an ombre where it fades, to have like glitter on the top and then like none on the bottom of my nail. So that's how I did the glitter on this manicure. But I do that for both coats. So now I'm on coat number 3, and for my ring finger, I used 1 coat of the color, and then I used 2 coats of the glittery gel. And then I'm going to cure it under the light. Okay, we're all done with color. We're gonna do a top coat now. So I'm using the glossy top coat. I really like a shine to my top coat. You can opt for the matte top coat from Head Kandy's Nail Candy line. The biggest thing, either coat you use, either top coat you use, is that you need to do a technique called capping. So you're still going to use the same thin coats that we've been using, but at the very top of your nail, on the very edge, you're going to put that top coat over top of it, and basically you're going to encapsulate your entire nail so that it protects it from the elements. So I do this 2 coats. So I do my top coat, cap my nail, put it under the light, do my second coat of top coat, cure it under the light, make sure you cap it on the second time also, and then afterwards I will sometimes even put it back under the light and cure it for a second 60-second time frame. It's completely up to you. Make sure you do not touch your nails from the very beginning until the very end. Even if you want to see if it dries, your polish, when it gets cured under the light, is still going to be tacky in between each coat. So do not expect it to be dry. The light does not dry it, it cures it. Okay, at the very end is when everything will be completely dry and you'll be able to do it. And there they are, look at that. So that was how we started, and we went through all the nail prep. There's some of the products that I used. I'm going to link everything down below in the description of this video. If you have questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer any of your questions. Let me know what other content you'd like to see. And also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and ring the bell for more notifications, okay, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in. Have an amazingly blessed day. I'll see you next time.